The college football experience, Texas Tech Red Raiders 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog's giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the program with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Yes, they do have college football and college basketball. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Yes, look, Rhythm has the best AI picks and projections, and their college football product. Well, that thing is about to drop. So jump on over there and check it out. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That is RITHMM. Once again, that is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Football experience, Texas Tech Red Raiders 2024 season preview episode. Excited to talk Red Raider football. Last season was just a wild year. I feel like if you were a Texas Tech Red Raider fan, we're going to talk recap a little bit. Then we're going to talk about the offense, defense, special teams, and go game by game on the schedule. YouTube.com/the college experience. Cause this is just one of 134 episodes. If you're a fan of another team, even your enemy, you want to know about the enemy? You want to know what Baylor's doing? That preview's out. Go check about it. As we break down all 134 teams, they're all out there. The SEC, the Mountain West, the Pac-2, Big 10, and this concludes the Big 12. We got the ACC starting tomorrow morning. Load up, all right? If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Cap Bozo. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Lemon-headed. That's what that's what Craig James and his son should be called. Lemon-headed. All right. YouTube.com/the college experience. I am joined by my co-host who's got fantastic artwork behind him. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. Some know him as Scumbagger Vance. Some know him as the Bet Detective, but we know him on this very episode as the Bottom Line Bams. CJ Sullivan, how are you, pal?
Good, buddy. Deep in the heart of Texas. I want Texas night for this one. The stars are bright, big and bright.
And explain to the youth to say Bottom Line Bams. What's
Bottom
going
Line
on
Bams?
Here?
Well, Bottom Line Bombs, of course, is my hit podcast that everyone here should be subscribed to, where we hit all the subjects hard. All gas, no brakes. It was described as by a listener in a comment in one of the reviews. I kind of like that. But so I changed it for this one for Bottom Line Bams for the legend Bam Morris, Texas Tech running back, fullback, Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowl legend, and also drug pusher Bam Morris, who got caught with about 220 pounds of marijuana in the late 90s, right after that Super Bowl. And just this little gram of cocaine. But for a man like Bam's, no Morris, that's nothing. He's not pushing anything. That's just a daily habit.
Well, 220. Look, it's still legal. It's still illegal in Texas, right? Of course,
it's in Texas. Right? You grow it up there. Yeah, you put it in your ranch, for crying out loud. He was just in the wrong time. That's all.
That was just one time, right? I mean, because he wouldn't do that again, would he?
Well, the record keeps going. If you keep scrolling down there, sure, it's tough to get the story straight of which times he went in, which times he went out. Then there's a probation, but now that's all behind him because marijuana is legal.
Just not in Texas, is it? Is it in Texas? I don't think it is.
Probably not.
Yeah, but he did win a Doak Walker Award, and that's what really matters.
Love Van Morris.
I like Behren Morris too.
That whole Steelers rotation of running backs, Bananas Foster out there, Behren Morris,
Eric Eakin,
Eric Eakin. For sure.
I was a big fan of that Steeler team too. And look, Bam had to serve jail time for just pushing weed. That thing's legal in almost 30 of the 50 states. Come on, give the guy a break. All right, there's a little cocaine in the car too.
Yeah, a little cocaine. Probably didn't even know it was there. Like I said before, like Kelsey Grammer got pulled over with it. They said, "Did you know there was cocaine in your ashtray?" He goes, "Of course not, officer. If I knew it was in there, I would have done it. I was looking for that cocaine."
Well, I don't get brain man comb, but they're counting down 7.
You're telling me Craig James never did any blow?
I mean, good Lord. That's what the entire Texas football program was run on in the 80s, for crying out loud. SMUs and Texas.
That's when Eric Dickerson would gas up his gold Corvette car with just cocaine, just put cocaine in that thing. Anyway, buddy, what do you make of this Texas Tech season? You got, obviously, the last year. Now I want to thank them in a way because I cashed Wyoming money line. And I thought I told you about this one too. I thought like we were both on this one, but that was, Texas Tech was up 17-0 in that game. And I was like, what in the fuck? I was like, I thought Wyoming was going to beat them. And, Wyoming just slow to wake up, but they woke up and they got it done in overtime. But that was a bad loss opening season. But we all know what happens out of Wyoming. It's wildness. You get it in Laramie, they call it. Now, the Oregon game was killer too, man. The first 2 games of the season, like Texas Tech probably should have beat Wyoming. Yeah, and they had I think a 10 or 11 point lead against Oregon with like 7 minutes left and lost by 8. I mean, they should have won this game. They outplayed Oregon, in my opinion.
They did.
And
that was, I remember that because I had Texas Tech big money line and a cover, and then they almost blew the cover with that pick 6, and then they came down at the end and they backdoored a cover in a game they were winning the entire time. It was like a double bad beat for both sides. It was kind of hilarious. Yeah. But that was a game they definitely should have won. They had to. I'm excited. They lost a lot, but they revamped a lot too. So we're going to get into all of that. But I'm excited for this team actually.
Yeah, I felt like this team was a lot better than their record last year, in my opinion. Yes. So it's
they had a lot of expectations last year too. And that Wyoming loss to open the season really kind of deflated them,
Yeah. Look, we're going to talk all about it, but before we do that, I want to tell you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Make sure to check out this week's featured podcast, the MLB Gambling Podcast. They're giving you all the picks you need to crush the rest of the MLB season and serve that high heat into the postseason. Plus the College Football Experience. This show, yes, is knee deep in 134 team previews, so go check them all out. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store, Google Play Store. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. All right, back talking Red Raider football, and we got slides. YouTube.com/the College Experience. Joey McGuire. Let's talk about old Joey McGuire.
Woo!
I mean, how great is this, by the way? Huh?
Love it. Love that double six shooter now.
Yes, put this on the helmet already, folks.
Right? I mean, that is amazing. Double gun and that is fucking.
Put this on the helmet.
That is Texas right there.
Well, they need to bring the San Antonio gunslingers back. All right, they're afraid to do that. They just need to say, fuck it, go all the way in. Joey McGuire, put this on the helmet. He's 15-11 in 2 years as a head coach. He came over. He was a high school coach prior to that. He is 2-0 against some Kansas Jayhawks. He is, look, if Oklahoma and Texas now count as SEC teams, he's 3-1 against the SEC because he is 2-1 against Oklahoma and Texas, and he beat Ole Miss. So, hey, it just means more my ass. Let's go. Zach Kitley is the OC. I've been following Zach Kitley's career since he was at Houston Christian, throwing for 10 million yards a game. DC is Tim DeRuyter, previously coached at Fresno State, if memory serves me correct. What do you make of Joey McGuire, man?
Well, Joey McGuire's his thing that they keep touting is that he's going to got a pipeline to Texas high school football, and the highest tier, the 5A or whatever. And that's how you compete in Texas, is because they have the amazing high school football lineage, And so he was a legend there, and he's piped into it. Well, now he's going to come into third year. You better show up with this. You better put up or shut up when it comes to these guys are now becoming into it. So that's what I think of Joe McGuire. I think that's what it's going to come down to, if these guys are exactly who they say they were, and you do have this connection. As far as Kitley as the offensive coordinator, you can't argue with. I mean, they went through 3 different quarterbacks 2 years in a row, and they don't.
What
they
the
don't
hell is going on?
And they don't slack off at all. So that's pretty amazing what they're able to do. I mean, they've gone through 3. They've back-to-back seasons played 3 different quarterbacks each time, and
the offense is always fire.
Right, and they're always fire, and they continue
to
produce. So that's amazing. Not much you can say about that. So they need to, tighten up some sloppiness. So we'll see.
And maybe pass protect a little more. Maybe that's why.
For sure.
Shout out to Helms22 in the chat. Goes, do you guys get into college football at DFS when the season starts? I mean, yes, we have. For the past 5 years, we've been doing episodes leading up to every single week, even weeknight episodes. So check that out. We're also going to have Best Ball with Underdog Fantasy, college football best ball. Which is the first time I've ever heard of college football best ball. So check out Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code TCESGPN. But yes, we'll have episodes just regarding DFS like we do currently on all of our shows, really. I mean, I think it's a big year for Joey, but I also feel like they passed the eye test more now than they really have under Matt Wells, under Kingsbury, under Tupperville. Tommy Tuberville, who's now a senator.
Sure is. He's a problematic. He's a problematic senator too. It's like he's a problematic coach.
Look, before we talk about the offense, defense, and special teams, I like to shit on the program for a little bit here. What is the worst loss? They don't have that much.
A short list, and once again, I don't even know how East Carolina makes this list. That's if anything.
This is why it makes the list. Yes, from one pirate, myself, to another. Mike Leach. By the way, there's a game on the schedule this year, a Leach bowl, so to speak.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech needs to pay him that money that he's owed. And show some damn respect to Mike Leach. May he rest in peace. He was a good friend of ours.
Yep.
Had been on the show a bunch of times. So please cut the Leach family a check, you filthy animals.
Cut the Leach estate a check. Let's get Leach in the Hall of Fame. This ridiculous win requirement nonsense, win percentage thing is a joke.
Every damn offense in football, from 10-year-olds to the Kansas City Chiefs, have like Mike Leach variations everywhere. Right. And we're just sit back here. No, he needed one more win, right? He needed one more what a dumb rule. What a dumb fucking rule.
Dumb arbitrary rule for some bullshit unofficial Hall of Fame thing anyway.
And his team won the bowl game. So just count that bowl game then. He died on December 12th. They won the bowl game down there at Raymond James Stadium. Anyway, pay the man. But what's the worst loss there?
I'm going to say it's Wyoming, just because of. I mean, and I remember it. The way it happened too was bad. They should have won that game. It was just brutal, season crusher, and it was just nonsense. It was pure Wyoming nonsense. Dust Bowl whirling up. At Wyoming, all those losses, they're not devastatingly bad. Just short list, but last year's at Wyoming was brutal.
I actually think. What's this? Oh, we have some fans on the line from when they went to Laramie.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out of this country, mother.
After that loss, I understand. So shout out to the good fans of Texas Tech for making the trip up to Laramie.
Boy.
But yeah, that's got to be the top loss there. Look, we're going to talk about this this upcoming season, offense, defense, special teams, all that good stuff. But before we do that, I do want to tell you that the college football experience, Red Raider style, is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy just launched college football best ball helms 22. All right, so get on over there, check it out. They've also launched their Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 pick'em entries and then go streaking. Bring your green hat. Look, if you can get an 11-0 run, you can win 1,000 times your entry fee. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. I talked about college football best ball. That's $20 million. Get on over there. You can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. So sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer of up to $250 in bonus cash. I know we're less than a month away from football, so we'll have football coming. But in the meantime, I'm playing CFL, which is football, but Canadian. I'm playing MLB and UFC. It's just, there's always something for you at Underdog. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Look, prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, which is awesome. Just, sometimes can't plan your life out. You don't know if old Rebecca's going to take you to the Golden Corral, right? So you're like, hey, what am I doing on Thursday night? I don't know if I'm going to the game, right? So you could just wait and pull out the Game Time app and boom, right before first pitch, you get in there. Last minute ticket deals are a big thing with Game Time. They got all in prices. They got views from your seat. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'd load up the the team website. You're sitting there. You're like, hey, let me go check out. Let me go check out a I don't know, Oakland A's game or something. You just load up the team website. It's like a graphic. It looks like you're playing RBI baseball from like 1988, right? And
Frank Viola.
Yeah. Your seat is right here. It's just like an arrow pointing to it. You show up and there's just like a beam right in front of you. Mm-hmm. Can't see shit. So look, what's great about Game Time is they'll actually show you a view from exactly where your seat was. They went and took a photo from exactly that spot. And they got a lowest price guarantee. It's fantastic. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets. So take that guesswork out of buying them with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the redeeming code CFBX. And let me tell you, when college football comes, it's perfect too. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that redeeming code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, back talking Red Raider football. And a year ago, CJ, 62nd in scoring offense, but playing 3 different quarterbacks. Those numbers are actually very impressive. 64th in yards, 63rd in passing, 59th in rushing. Those are all nationally. Considering the hand they were dealt, kind of love it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just amazing what they did. There's nothing you can question. 3 different quarterbacks says it all, and they didn't slip it off.
How do you feel about this mascot with the horse and the looking like Zorro?
You're looking like Zorro, kind of a headless horseman as well, kind of like a dark, those what was those Lord of the Ring, those Dark Riders things at night?
Yeah.
Those things
Sleepy Hollow. Yeah.
Those things are pretty bad.
How do you feel about like the pregame, like he was running out of the tunnel? Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They do tech down good down in Texas, especially down in Lubbock.
Yeah, they only got 4 returning starters though.
Right.
Are you concerned about that?
Well, they have good ones, that's for sure. I mean, Tahj Brooks is an absolute All-American candidate. He's a stud, 1,500 yards last year. He's one of those dudes, as they say. He's definitely a man among boys. I love him. And Behren Morton, I think he's going to have a blowout, a breakout year, if you will. I kind of have one. Wouldn't mind this in futures.
You could argue 5 returning starters with Coy Eakin at the receiver spot.
Yep.
With Drae McCray, just one back on the O-line though, and Caleb Rogers. Kicker Gino Garcia's back. Case close game. That's always big in college sports.
Yes. But they had to revamp. They lost a lot and they had to revamp a lot, but they revamped everything and they did really well in the portal.
Let's talk about that because they lost Tyler Shuck.
Tough.
Tyler Shuck could never complete a season, but now he's like, you know what? I'm going to Louisville, hanging out with Jeff Brom. They also lost a slew of wideouts. Tyler King stayed in Laramie. He's like, all right, well, stay in Laramie. What's going on? They beat us. I'm gonna stay in Laramie. JJ Sparkman goes to the UTSA Roadrunners. Meep. Miles Price to the Indiana Hoosiers. Jerron Bradley to BC. Luke Fuanji to Vandy. A couple offensive linemen that I think are worth noting here. Monroe Mills to Louisville. Jacoby Jackson to Mississippi State, and Matt Killer to Northwestern, as well as tight end Jaden York to the Houston Cougs. So,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. You're thinking,
Let's
okay.
talk about who we got.
They brought, then they lost a couple other guys too. But they brought in
Here we go.
quarterback Cameron Brown from West Georgia. I like that. They're jumping up. This is their first year in the FCS this year. So basically a D2 transfer, but Josh Kelly was an absolute stud.
920 yards last year, 8 touchdowns, 61 catches.
Even before that, he was at Fresno State. He was a baller too.
Yeah.
Caleb Douglas coming in from the Florida Gators. And then tight end. How about John Carlos Miller II from the Elon Phoenix in the FCS ranks? Jaylin Conyers.
Yeah, I like that Jaylin Conyers too. He's from Groover, Texas, and he is he's best friends with Morton. That's exactly why he went there.
Yeah. I mean Sterling Porsche. Any relation to Robert Porsche? The offensive line.
Only hope. Robert
Porsche,
fantastic defensive end.
Oh yeah. Coming in from them Blue Raiders, Middle Tennessee State, at Johnny Red Floyd Stadium. Davion Carter also coming in from Memphis. Vinny Scurry coming in from Toledo. So look, a lot of these guys are projected to start on the offensive line.
Well, those last two you just said there, Carter and Scurry, were kind of known as like the best two gets in the land as far as inside linemen, guards in the transfer portal, and they got both of them. Yeah,
and I think that's why you got to say, I think you grade it as a win. I know you lose Shuck, but I mean
it's an absolute win. They crushed the portal.
There we go. How will the offense be this year, though? Can Morton can they protect the quarterback, and will their offensive numbers be better than a year ago, CJ?
I believe they will be. Now, the turnover is a problem for sure. You want stability and all that, but I mean, this is kind of the way of the world it is now with the portal. So you have a whole brand new thing. Legendary O-line coach Clay McGuire from Washington State. They built for them to use it for a long time. So I think he'll be able to pull these guys together and pull something out. Yeah, like I said, they had that stud running back in Brooks, and Morton, I think, is definitely poised for a breakout season. I like their off. I think, like we said before, you can't question this coordinator and this offense in general with the 3 different quarterbacks. So I'm all set. And who's that other receiver? Micah Hudson. He's a 5-star. That's
what I'm saying. Athlete. I like when you really think about the wideout room with McCray, Douglas, Kelly. Hudson, and then you add in the tight ends, and like I said, I think Coy Eakin is a solid player too. So they just got a bunch of targets. It should be exciting to watch them on offense this year, providing they can keep the quarterback healthy. Gonna talk defense here in a second, but do want to say the Red Raiders season preview is brought to you by Rhythm. If you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, well, then you are missing out. They dominated the British Open, and their college football product is about to drop. You can even customize your own betting models using Rhythm's tools. So claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Yes, Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you'll feel if you enter your little office pool with a couple hundred people. You win. Look, if you won your office pool, that still means you didn't have any teams lose. So you're going to sit there and say, damn, if I had just entered Circa Survivor, I'd be a millionaire. Don't have a trip booked yet for Las Vegas before the football season? Well, may I recommend Ultimate Contest Weekend? Yes, you can hang out with our pals from SGP, Sports Gambling Podcast, Stacking the Money Green and Ryan Real Money Kramer, and enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, August 22nd through August 24th. Use that promo code. Aside from that, use SGP15 to save you 15% off your hotel room at the Circa that weekend. Also sign up in person at Circus Sports between now and September 7th and use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. So hop on over there and remember always, folks, to let it ride. Love Circa. Absolutely love Circa. Defensively. 61st for Tim DeRuiter. And 61st in scoring per game, 7th best in the Big 12, 79th in yards, 74th in pass defense, 84th in rush defense. I mean, what do you make of those numbers? They're not horrible. But
no, they're not. They're not horrible. And Tim DeRuiter had a good, serviceable, good 2 years. To be honest with you, for the Big 12 and what they had going on there, especially with the pace of the offense, a lot of pressures put on them. I like their defense, and there should be better this year, but it's pretty glaring. As we get into the roster, they lost a lot here for sure. This is where it gets bad. A lot of production, at least, got lost.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: McGuire has been recruiting better, though. So this will be year 3 of his own.
Well, that's what we're saying. He's got that pipeline to the Texas high school system. He better this year.
They only have 4 returning starters, though.
Yeah.
And basically just 1 on the defensive line, 1 in the linebacking core, and 2 in the secondary.
Yeah, but they got a CJ out there from Bakersville. We went. Didn't they get him from San Diego State? Is that where he came from?
I believe so. I forget.
I think he did a year. I think I remember from.
You're right. You're right. San Diego State. Yeah. Bringing in those guys were key, were key. Some of those guys that they had previously, but the portal did Steve Linton heading out to Baylor.
That hurts.
Filthy. You're going to go to the rivals? What's going on here? Blake Burris going to the SMU Mustangs. Did George Bush make a phone call for him? Huh? Yep. Did he say?
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Maybe he brought in old Blake Burris and they come play ball for the Mustangs.
Oh man, I love it.
You gotta love SMU just spending a shit ton of money. How dirty is the SMU program, you think?
They're so dirty, and finally their time has come. This NIL, they're like, oh, we don't have to hide this shit. They are the embodiment of that old logo, shooting those guns in the air.
They also lost Tredarius Brown to South Bama, Josiah Pierre to UCF in conference, and a couple defensive backs to the Mountain West, and Cameron Watson, Nathaniel Floyd, as well as safety Landon Hullaby to the UTEP Miners. Love the Sun Bowl. I think the Sun Bowl is one of the most beautiful stadiums in the world. But also punter Brock Honor heading out to Arkansas State, going to Jonesboro. Those are some losses, though, man.
Significant losses, and they've lost some production and to the draft and everything. So, they have to reload a lot on both sides of the ball.
Now they went out in the portal, brought in a couple of guys. James Hansen, coming in from the Nevada Wolfpack and Ken Wilson's bunch a season ago. They get. I mean, they're going to obscure spots here. A couple of JUCO guys, Rice. Javion Wilcox coming from TCU, and then also cornerback Mekhi Harrison Pilot.
Yeah, I want this pilot. It's a matter of national security.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that guy from Rice to Braylon Carroll is a stud, and he was one of the top gets in the country too in the transfer portal. So that was definitely a get.
And then Jack Burgess, the punter spot, coming over from the Wildcats of Weber State.
Yes.
I don't know. I still think they lost the portal on defense.
Yeah, probably much. I mean, I love Carroll.
Yeah,
they love Carroll. At least I have to say, but yeah, they got a lot of turnover there. I'm a little worried. The defense is worrisome.
Well, let's get to it because the win total 7.5. What is every damn Big 12 school 7.5?
I know.
Even
right?
Vegas, like I got no idea what's going on in the Big 12. Let's say everyone's win total is 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5, 10-1, 14-1, bank it, whatever.
I mean, we just did the TCU preview with 7.5, and I feel like who else did I do? I think Kansas was 7.5. They're plus 1,400 to win the Big 12 championship, plus 1,000 to make the 12-team playoff. These odds crack me up because if they win the Big 12 championship, they go to the playoffs. So you might as well take the plus 1,400.
Take the 1,400.
Yeah,
I don't mind sprinkling already. Just
I don't mind it either.
Schedule. I think Texas Tech can win this conference.
They were better last season than, in my opinion, than a lot of teams in the Big. Like they doesn't represent. Now, obviously, they took some hits on defense, but as long as they can stay healthy at the quarterback spot, I think they really could.
And they do have a couple guys that were, we say we lost a lot of production. A couple of our linebackers, Jacob Rodriguez, who was hurt last year. They expect a lot out of him this year. And Ben Roberts was a freshman All-American, the only freshman in the country with over 100 tackles. So they can return a couple.
Well, I don't brain bag.
Plus 25,000 to win the national championship. But
hey, no chance there. But
you never know. You get in that playoff.
That's true.
You got a bye week if you win the Big 12.
Okay.
You never know that.
No, absolutely right. And that's there. You definitely want to look at some high odds with national championship now that there's an actual playoff and a tournament, and you actually do have a chance of upsets and things like that. I don't know if I'd go with Texas Tech, but I definitely like a little sprinkle to win that Big 12 for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Let's look at this schedule here because 7.5 wins. And by the way, I should note that the overs plus 100, the unders minus 120. So Vegas leaning into a 7-5 season. Are they wrong? Let's get to it. Week 1, Abilene Christians coming in down to Lubbock. Texas tough. That's a win. Although, I mean, I do think they're going to be good in the FCS, but that's a win. Then September 7th, have they announced that they better be doing something for Mike Leach here, man?
This is the Mike Leach Bowl, Washington State, Texas Tech. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they got to do something for the family. They got to do something, build a statue on both the damn campuses. Right. This is a scary one because Power 5 teams never play in Pullman non-con. You know what? Wisconsin. Remember last year, Wisconsin went there. They were the first team to go to Pullman in the non-con since 1998, right? And Wisconsin lost. So I now there's a lot of familiarity. Ben Arbuckle, the OC for Washington State, used to work under Zach Kitley. So it's like there's a lot of familiarity here.
And you grabbed that O-line coach, Clay McGuire, who was a fucking staple out there.
Josh Kelly too, the wideout.
We should put a footnote about that Wisconsin game. It turns out Wisconsin was terrible last year.
Very true. Very true. But this is like, to me, a 50-50 game.
Oh, absolutely.
True 50 game.
True coin flip, and I actually lean Washington State here.
I think I do too, by like a field goal.
Yeah,
but it could go either way. It wouldn't shock me if Texas Tech wins this game either. But I'll say the Cougs get it done 1-1, and then the Mean Green North Texas come to town. That's a win. They could easily be 3-0.
That's a win. They could easily be 3-0. They could easily lose at North Texas too, but they won't.
Mean Joe Green's not walked through that door.
No.
Week 4, Arizona State comes to Lubbock. That's a win. Week 5, Cincinnati. Dude, this is a great beginning. If they beat Washington State, they could be 5-0. They should be 5-0.
Yeah, they could easily be 5-0.
I think they'll be 4-1.
But still, that's fine. This home schedule in general is just good. They have a lot of good home games. I think they can run the table at home.
Well, then they head to Tucson to take on Arizona. Dude, this is still a winnable game.
Yeah, they're going to lose this game, though.
All right. I'll join you, but
I don't have too many losses. I don't have too many guaranteed losses. This is one of them.
I'll say guaranteed, loss too, but I still don't.
Pretty tough game. What do you think the line? What would you set that line at? Texas Tech and Arizona, especially if Texas Tech comes in there 5-0.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Arizona won so many close games a year ago. I just feel like a little regression's due, but I still would favor Arizona by 4.5.
I think it's
something like that.
Yeah. I think it's at least a touchdown.
Shout out to Dave Matola in the chat. He goes, "It all comes crashing down in Tucson."
Says if it falls apart in Tucson, when they roll in there, they could roll in there 5-0 easily, 4-1 at the worst.
Yeah. I got them going into the bye week. I got Arizona winning, Matola. Yeah. All right, relax. All right. But I think it's a game. don't bullshit yourself here. You act like Arizona's got fucking Broadway Joe at quarterback. I mean, Noah Fafita's a baller, but still, Texas Tech, Arizona, and I like this. I like this desert football stuff coming. I like Arizona State and Arizona. I think they should be on Texas Tech's schedule every year. Get UTEP on there. Get New Mexico State. Let's play some desert football. Bet detective.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Some sandball for sure.
Sandball. Let's go. You old sandballing son of a bitch. What are we doing here? I got him 2 losses at the bye. You too?
Yeah, we have them losing to Arizona and Wazoo. Yes.
Then we got the Butt Bowl on October 19th. They are hosting the Baylor Bears. These games are always kind of wacky, but I will take Texas Tech to get the dub, especially with the bye week coming in there.
Great spot for them. Bye at home. Bounce back after the Arizona game. They beat Baylor at home.
5-2, and then they had to Fort Worth, and we just projected them to upset TCU. So 6-2.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember that. I can't flip now. That was 10 minutes ago.
Now I'll tell you this: they're going to go to Ames on. I think Matt Campbell's undefeated against Texas Tech, and guess what? They ain't going to go there and be throwing a ball around the field in windy ass Ames. All right, that's a loss.
Yeah, this is a winnable game, but tough spot, back-to-back road games, especially if they do pull that off on upset at TCU. They're certainly not winning them both. So yeah, give me Tony Meatball's kid Rocco Beck to Iowa State to win this game. So that's 3 losses we got them at.
All right, then you got Coach Prime and the Buffs coming to town.
Yep. This is the point of the season where his players will quit on him. they will storm this field. They will storm this field here. Yeah.
It doesn't matter that they could be a 10-point favorite. They're storming the field.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they called for. So yeah, this is a dub where they're beating Prime.
This is a great schedule. Then they get their second bye week on November 16th, and then they head to Stillwater.
It's a loss.
It is a loss, but
yeah, no doubt about it.
It's still possible, but Oklahoma State always ends the season hot.
Yeah, this was my second game. I saw at Arizona and at Oklahoma State are the 2 games that they are definitely losing.
Yeah, and then they're hosting the Mountaineers. They're going to beat the piss out of West Virginia in the final game of the season. That's just a bad trip. That's a far trip. I got them. Wow, Gertzberger shitting on Tucson. We got a Red Raider fan here.
I love it.
I will say this, man. I like this schedule a lot.
Yes. I think, like I was saying before, and I think we do have them, or at least I do. I have them 7-0 at home. So that's your 7 wins right there. They just got to get 1 on the road.
Dude, that Arizona game's winnable. It's a brand new coach in his 5th game with the program.
All right. With your Arizona. Listen. There's better spots in that Arizona game, all right?
They ain't winning in Ames. Don't try to sell me on this Ames shit. All right,
they're not winning in Ames. They're not winning in Stillwater. They're not winning in Tucson. They have them losing to Pullman. So they're going to get that TCU game for that 8th win. I'm sneaking them over that 7.5, right over the pylon.
I like it too, man. I'm all in that. Dude, I think this is, the more I think about it, because like to me, it's 50-50 Washington State, Arizona.
Right.
Even TCU. I think they're 8-4 and 9-3.
I like the schedule. I have them at 8-4. Definitely they can get to 9-3. They avoid Utah and Kansas State, which is pretty important.
And UCF, which I have as the team that is a real contender. Yeah, I mean, and Kansas. They get the top, like, to me, like arguably the top 4 teams. I mean, I guess you'd have to throw OK State in there, but it's a very nice schedule. I'm all over the over here.
Now I think about it. Let's go ahead and sprinkle that 14-1 Big 12. Price.
Yeah, they're gonna be, providing they don't go through 3 quarterbacks like they do every year in the Joey McGuire. They're gonna be in the Big 12 championship game, right? I know they haven't released the tiebreakers yet, but we have them losing to Arizona and Iowa State and Oklahoma State. That's 3 losses in conference. 3. I think there will be 1 team in there with 3 losses. Now, I got no idea the tiebreaker scenario. They haven't released it, but hell, I tend to think they could win one of those, like the Arizona, the Oklahoma. What do we had them losing to Arizona, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. Maybe they steal one of those, and they only have 2, and they're definitely in.
Right.
Jump on in on that. What was it? Plus Plus 1,400. And the game, and that's another thing is they could be playing like Iowa State and Arlington or something. You know what I mean? They could be playing UCF in Arlington, or Utah would be all Texas Tech fans. At that filthy Jerry's world, you know, they got to get that game out of there. Got to bring it back to Arrowhead. All right, they got to bring it back to Arrowhead. Yeah, love the over. Get on over there. It's plus 100 too. This might be on my locks pod. How good do you feel about this one?
Like I said, I had them at 7-0 at home, and it's at 7, and the win total 7.5. So they just have to get one of those coin flips. I have them. I have them outright losing Arizona, Oklahoma State, no doubt. But even Iowa State, I have as a coin flip. I think they lose it. But Iowa State, TCU, Washington State, you know, they just got to get one of them. Yeah,
I think. Between this, we just previewed TCU, and this is the final. This is the last episode of the Big 12, so the whole Big 12 is out. I feel better about TCU's under than Texas Tech's over, but I still feel pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure, no doubt. But yeah. I like them both.
Yeah, there we go, folks. You heard it here from the Bet Detective. Give him a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _ subscribe to the Bottom Line Bams. I'm sorry, Bottom Line Bombs podcast. They're kicking ass over there. They're talking Olympic sports. I didn't even know
it all, baby. We're talking all the stories, all the main stories. Like I said, scandals and bombs.
NFL previews coming up.
We're talking. Trying to think what we got into.
You talking Deshaun Foster?
It's Deshaun Foster. I mean, can we revisit that win total again? Well, I know we did UCLA, and I know we were on the under anyway. But can we? I mean, that thing must have plummeted from 5.5 to 1 after that speech. That was incredible. Actually, I mean, I like Foster, and I think he's getting a little too much.
I don't get.
It obviously wasn't a good look, but I mean,
I look. He told no lies. He goes, "We are located in Los Angeles.
We're located in Los Angeles. You might not know that." Listen, and as a comic, I feel for anyone who bombs, so I don't want to pile on him too much. He was trying to do some light humor up there, and he goes, "You know what? I'm just better at questions. Who's got questions?"
Guys, I'm better at scoring touchdowns. Unlike any of you fucking loser coaches here, all right?
So I'm Team Foster, actually, after that.
Yeah, he's going to hear Kurt Signetti talk some shit. He's like, dude, I made it in the NFL, rushed for 1,000 yards. What the hell did you do? All right. Fucking Ryan Day, you played quarterback in New Hampshire. All right.
Right.
But check out more of that on the Bottom Line Bombs. Also, check out myself on Twitter at @TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And like I said, 134 previews. The College Football Experience. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Also, check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Love Jones Stadium there in Lubbock. Love the remodeling they're doing.
Yes.
The Stadium Heads podcast is myself and College Football Campus Tour, aka Michael Barker, talking about the history of college football, all its great venues, and what makes the sport of football so amazing. You got to check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Also, the College Basketball Experience. Hey, Red Raider fans. Grant McCaslin, hell of a good coach. I think there's a bright future there in Lubbock. When the season goes live, we're live every single night of the season. Right now, we're doing off-season coaching interviews. Go check them all out. Also, check out the College Baseball Experience. Spike Dykes, his son Sonny Dykes was a first baseman for Texas Tech. Check out the College Baseball Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling podcast, folks. I'm on the over. The Bet Detective's on the over. Can't wait for the season. This is the College Football Experience, Texas Tech Red Raider style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the gamblers. Run and shoot. We can really run.